Have you ever wondered how behind the scenes videos can really take the ordinary moments in your business and turn them into powerful tools to connect with your audience, build trust, and attract dream clients? In this episode, we're going to be diving into the strategies and secrets behind making your own behind the scenes content work for you. Welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Jen Vasquez, and I help hyper busy female service providers to use Pinterest and book more clients and increase their income and impact. And on this podcast, I have the just amazing opportunity to talk with all of these experts on marketing. So if marketing is something that you really want to learn more about for your business, please subscribe to the podcast or the YouTube channel. Today, on Saturday Night Live and they have all the jackets. I think I think you've actually been on my podcast maybe 3 times since 2018, I'm pretty sure. Might be more, but you're like the leader in that pack. I have not had anybody back this often, but it's because you have amazing content. So I'm chatting with Quianna Marie. She's a photographer, a coach, and a podcast host. And Quianna is your business bestie with big sister vibes, offering encouragement and a little tough love when needed. With over 15 plus years of experience as a professional photographer, capturing weddings, lifestyles, events, and products, Quianna is now focused on branding, photography, and intuitive content coaching. She helps you align your incredible in person experiences with tools and hacks and mindset shifts to share that magic online for your dream clients to find you. Your dream clients are praying for you. So let's show up for them by sharing those behind the scenes of your life and your business. Welcome, Quianna.
Roy, thank you so much, Jen. I appreciate that intro. Oh my gosh, I want to be her friend. I love it so much. Thank you for having me back.
You're welcome. It's always so fun to have guests on the podcast that are also friends in real life. Like there's just a little bit more oomph in that type of conversation. So let's go ahead and start off. We've talked about a lot of your background in the other podcast, so I want to dive in a little
Mhm.
deeper. Talk to
Yeah.
me about pivoting your business, moving from California to Arizona, because I think that's something that people could really identify with, and a lot of people are moving. So let's go ahead and talk about your trajectory in that.
Yes, absolutely. So I have a background in wedding photography, portrait photography, all the things. And I actually took this huge leap of faith to move out here to Arizona with the intentions of starting my own wedding venue. That has been the dream and like the pipe dream for so many years. And it's pivoted. It's changed. We can definitely dive into more about that. How I have big goals of now looking for more of a retreat space, something a little bit more intimate. I'm thinking elopement out in the mountains, elopement in the desert, and then just beautiful intimate dinner party status. So that's still the big dream. That's what got me out here. And I will say that the pivot, after we all know all the craziness that happened through 2020, it really made me think. It made me realize, hold on a second. I am essential. My family is essential. No one is going to tell me when I cannot work. And so that really put things into perspective to start opening up my heart and opening up my mind to other opportunities. And that is when branding and content started happening. And what was crazy about it is all my new friends that I was quickly making here in Arizona, they only knew me as a branding and content photographer. When they would see old wedding stuff pop up on my stories or on my things, they questioned it. They're like, "Wait, I didn't know you were a wedding photographer." And so it just kind of happened organically. Now, I do still have a lot of roots in the Bay Area, and I'm so fortunate to be able to fly back and visit with family and still continue my portraits and my mini sessions. But truly, it was just a matter of taking a leap of faith and working with what I had available at the time. And now I'm running with it. And I'm so excited.
And I will also point out, because it's also really key for this specific interview, but I think it was your social media skills and knowledge and ability to show up authentically online that helped to make that an easier transition because you were all over the place. Even in the Bay Area, we would see Bay Area stuff and then we'd see Arizona stuff and then but you did it so well, and I think that has something to do with what we're gonna be talking about today.
Yes, thank you, and that was absolutely part of it. That was part of the journey, was documenting that, because if I just all of a sudden, oh, if I just started posting, "I'm here in the desert, book an Arizona session," right? That it would not have gone so smoothly, so that's why I'm a huge advocate for capturing behind the scenes, like taking your family, friends, and followers along for the journey.
Excellent. So let's go ahead and dive into some of this goodness. Behind the scenes content is such a powerful tool for connecting with your audience. What do you believe makes BTS videos so effective in building trust and showcasing a brand's
Mhm.
authenticity?
Yes. Okay. So I love a good story. Clearly, you'll see this throughout the entire episode. And as we become fast friends, I want you to think about Taylor Swift for a second. Okay. I want you to think about the Eras tour. And I want to start this with a story because I want you to think about the difference between having a friend post that they just got tickets to see Taylor Swift, right? They maybe post a picture of their ticket, they post a picture of their outfit, but there's a piece of that story that doesn't quite add up unless you see the behind the scenes of them screaming their head off. You see video of them waiting in line. You see video of them singing the lyrics, right? Meeting new friends that have similar outfits as them. What happens is when we capture the behind the scenes of our business, just as if we were at the Eras tour, right? For example, it's building that authenticity. It's building that realness. It's creating that FOMO effect that just proves that you're actually in the room and you're making things happen.
So, so smart, and I completely agree with you. And every time I have a conversation, I'm like, "I've got a new lease on life. I'm gonna be doing this all the time," and then I fall back in my rut. So that's why I'm excited to
Mhm.
have this conversation with you. You are really passionate about using B-roll to prove your value. How do you decide what moments to capture for B-roll, and what advice would you give to business owners just starting out with it?
Yes. So, when it comes to proving your value, I think a lot of us get stuck, and correct me if I'm wrong, I may be speaking for too many people, but speaking for myself, for example, I find that we are so laser focused on developing that ideal client. We're so laser focused on making sure that like they're the right person for us. But sometimes we have to reflect that view and ask ourselves, wait a second, are we actually the dream business to work with? And how are we proving that, right? So sometimes I think, although it's important to have a target audience, that is absolutely important. I also need to realize, well, are we actually the target business? Are we providing the experience, the results that these clients and these dream customers are looking for? So, one of the easiest ways that we can prove our value online is simply sharing the client experience. When we are so close to our business, we just kind of run through the paces, right? Like we can get on autopilot sometimes, especially with my wedding photography background. I used to always, and I tell my students all the time, your everyday was someone's once in a lifetime, right? So we have to pull apart those pieces of our business. If your dream clients that are searching for you online can put themselves in your behind the scene videos, like they look at those videos or they look at those behind the scene photos and think, I want that, or oh my gosh, I need that. And that's a little the easiest way. Now, when it comes to oversharing, I do want to share a quick little caveat. I don't want anyone to feel like they're throwing their entire life online, right? We have to go over a couple of like some safety things. So a couple of things to keep in mind is just being aware of what you're posting and when you're posting. I love my safety. I don't like anybody to know where I am in person. So just being mindful of that, not just for your safety, but also for your clients and your clients' family safety as well. And I always love to share as well, sometimes it's not just where you are, but it's where you're not, right? So if you're posting some things and you're sharing that you are at this destination location or you're traveling, that just means your home is empty, right? So we just need to be a little mindful of what you're putting on the internet. And then a couple of things to also consider when it comes to just having some smart skills when it comes to sharing things online is trying to always shine in your best light. So we need to be real. We need to share our things and share what's going on in our lives. But anything like a camera malfunction, I know a lot of photographers are listening to your podcast, any type of tech fails, even being sick. Now, these are things that right? These are things that happen. These are things that are so real. And we have beautiful Facebook groups. I mean, your community is a beautiful space to have these questions and to reach out in emergency situations. But your clients and the people who are investing in you and trusting you don't need to see that. They don't need to worry. They need to know that you have it taken care of, right? Like you're a business and they can trust you. So, those are just a couple little pointers about safety. And then when it comes to proving your value, it really just boils down to sharing what you're doing. We're already doing the hard work. We just need to document it.
Yes, I totally, totally agree. And one thing about not posting like in the moment for safety reasons, which we should all be considering that, even if we don't think like we're going to have an issue, you just don't want to be the first to have the issue. But it also helps you to be more thoughtful and creative if you're capturing it while you're there. But then the next day when you're maybe taking a bath or watching some reality TV, you can go through these videos and then choose the best of the best to share, keeping all of the video because you could use it at some point in time. But instead of trying to make it look good and sound good in the moment when you're working, we also don't want to be we also don't want to be filming while we're photographing somebody. Like that's not we can have someone film for us, but that doesn't look good to
Mhm.
clients either if you're, like, filming when you should be doing, like, your job. It's how some people might think of it.
Yes, absolutely. And especially when it comes to just kind of being overwhelmed, right? So, not only do we want that perception of the client that we're working with that we are giving them our full focus, but we also, like you said, we don't want to create more flustering moments. We don't want to be just kind of all over the place. This is why I highly encourage you to be capturing little B roll clips of your prep, of your business, of how you're preparing for the day, right? Whether that is what's in your bag, maybe your checklist for the day, what you're planning to wear for the day, and why, the snacks you're packing, and just little moments of the location and just the vibe of the day or of the client experience without pulling away from what you're already providing for your client.
Okay, awesome. So now what key elements should business owners focus on when capturing these behind the scenes content to tell a compelling story? And I'll give you an example because I know you're going to help everyone with this. But oftentimes we'll just like left to right, then we'll go left to right, then we'll go whatever. Like you do want to
Mhm.
change the angles and change the position. So talk to us a little bit about key elements to capture, but also how to capture.
Absolutely. So, first, I would love to go over just some tactics here, some things to look forward to. So, definitely consider the lighting. Okay. So, behind the scenes, as we know, is a little bit more raw footage. It's a little bit more organic. You're not dealing with a cinematic videographer, right? Like, and you're also not a super professional photographer for the behind the scenes. And that's fine. That's like I mentioned, like the fun, crazy videos at the Eras tour, like those are dark. There's confetti flying, there's music, it's loud, it's wiggly, and that is so telling and so honest. But I do think, especially when we come to sharing compelling stories, we can be a little proactive with the lighting. So I always try to find the best lighting location. If you're ever in a spin and you think, okay, I'm not familiar with this, maybe you don't have a photography background, one of my favorite things to do is to stick your hand out in front of your face. So imagine you're giving somebody a high five, right? Just giving somebody a high five. You're going to take that hand and you're just going to turn your body in a full circle, like turn your feet in a full circle, and you're going to take a peek at your hand and look at what lighting is the best. Typically, you're going to want your chest, like your tummy and your face, to be facing the natural light. You're going to want your butt to be towards the darkest part of the room. That's like the best way to kind of
Brilliant.
check that out, right? Because if you're yeah, because if you're backlit, that's what makes your face look very dark, and then it truly blows out, which just means makes your background very white and bright and can be very distracting to the viewer. So pay attention to the lighting. So you want it, there's definitely some really fun formulas that you can do. And I actually want to share this first. So we can get more into the tactics in a second. But I think it's important instead of just giving you this checklist where do this, don't do this, get zoom in, go far away. I want you to imagine, I have a challenge for you. The next time you are planning your client experience and you're working with the client, or maybe you're attending an event, I want you to pretend that your best friend, maybe not your best friend from high school or your sister, but maybe your business bestie. Let's say your business bestie could not attend that event. I want you to imagine recording the behind the scenes as if she or he wasn't there and you were able to express exactly what happened. Because, see, here's the thing, I can tell you what to do or what not to do, but if we don't have the mindset for this, I feel like it's just going to be a checklist and we're going to throw it out the window. So consider walking into the space and taking a peek at the location. What drinks are available? Are you toasting? Are you cheering? Who's hosting? Are you hosting? Are you attending an event? Can you get a selfie with a new friend, right? What's the vibe of the place? Did you notice that in the backyard they had this cool water feature that you're thinking of adding to your yard, whatever that is? Um, think of all those little tiny pieces that if you were to get in the car on your way home from that event and you would tell your best friend about, what would you tell her? And what type of behind the scenes clips would you wish you had to show her? That's where
That
I would start.
is brilliant. That is because a lot of people say, "Storytell, storytell, storytell." What does that mean, right? But you just said it beautifully. Document what you want to share with somebody who was not there. Like, that's so smart, and I have never thought of that.
Yes. Well, and it's the little things too, right? And then you can even take it back to, right? We do this all the time. At least I do, right? Like if I'm attending an event, I'll send my group of friends and say, "Hey, what outfit do you think I should wear today?" Like that's what we're doing, right? We're creating these conversations. And another thing too, like you mentioned, I want to go back to where you said we're just kind of taking these videos and then we get a little bit caught up in the story, right? This is the beauty of it, is capturing the behind the scenes of your client experience with you're doing with your business. That is evergreen. That is something that you can attach to a client, or you can attach to your client experience. You can attach to a testimonial, right? So but you need those behind the scenes clips, whether it's a short 3 to 5 second video or it's just simply a photo that you take with your cell phone. That's when we can bake in those stories later. But we have to have kind of like the meat and potatoes. We have to have something to post to social media to prove our value.
Perfect. That is really good. Okay. So many business owners are really hesitant or nervous or don't feel natural to show themselves on video. Is there a mindset shift or strategies that you would suggest to help them to feel more confident or natural while filming?
Yeah, so I think it's easy for me to say, this is where the big sister and tough love comes in. It's easy for me to say, just do it. Because the more you show your face, the more trustworthy you'll be. And it's just the way we are, right? When you develop a new friendship, right? When you become a regular at your local coffee shop, the more you see your face, or sorry, the more someone sees your face, you become fast friends. And this is the same on social media. So it's easy for me to say, well, you just got to do it, try. But a couple of tactics that could come to mind would be, I really challenge you to take some video and start with voiceovers. We want your clients and your potential clients to be familiar with your voice, like actually the sound of your voice. That also is a huge subliminal thing where we may be attracted to someone's voice even more than we're attracted to their face, right? Or their we could feel it, right? And so starting with those B-roll clips and compiling them together in a video and then adding your story as a voiceover is one of my favorite things. Almost like a little mini vlog. I post about these often. If you wanna check out my feed, I have a lot on there, and that is a great way when you're thinking, "Hey, I'm just not feeling it today. I haven't washed my hair in a couple days. I don't wanna be on camera." No problem, you can still show up just by sharing your voice. Another option I would share is, so one of my favorite things to do, and I do this with my clients and my students, all the time is to create a challenge for yourself. And the challenge is to have a face to face. So you're actually getting a recording of your phone, like a selfie. And I would love for you to do a quick challenge. And this could be a 3-part series, it could be a 10-part series, whatever you feel confident with to get started. And this series is going to share what it's like to work with you. So all you're doing is you're popping on and you're doing a quick series and you're sharing, all right, we're going to pretend like you just hired me for blah, 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 right? Whatever your business is. And then you're going to share the first thing we're going to do is this. Are you qualified for this? This is how I know you're my client. This is what we need to do, right? And then maybe the second part of that series is now that we have decided that we're both a great fit for each other, this is when the planning begins, right? And you can just see yourself light up because you are actually talking to a dream client. It may feel like you're just taking a selfie, but you're leading these strangers on the internet to fall in love with you, to understand what you offer. And then what you're actually doing too is you're having your these strangers on the internet kind of like self-reflect on if they're a good fit for you or not. So they're already deciding, "Oh, yes, I need this in my life," or "You know what? I think she offers something that I'm looking for, but she's just not the vibe for me." And that's fantastic. We have referrals for you. But leading your kind of like the internet, which can sound scary, and just speaking to them as if it's one client that just signed up for you. Try that series, try that challenge. It's so fun.
That is brilliant, and I am going to totally do that.
Yeah,
You can
do
follow
it.
up with me. I know, you'll be my accountability partner. It's brilliant, and I think the voiceover you mentioned, there is something very, very personal in a voice that makes people feel like they more know you, even as much as video helps, like, that voice is just something big, so that's a great baby step to start getting in the habit of doing that. How can
Mhm.
business owners maximize behind the scenes footage to create multiple pieces of content for platforms like Instagram, TikTok, Pinterest, etc.?
So this is why I'm obsessed with behind the scenes because as we all know, Instagram, right, TikTok, I mean, is TikTok going to be around forever? We don't know. All these platforms are ever changing. But what doesn't change is the fact that we hit record on these behind the scenes. So we can take this footage that we've been collecting for years and repurpose it as we go. So I know there's tons of gurus out there, there's tons of social media experts out there that will tell you that once you have that video, you can absolutely repurpose it to different platforms. Although I would suggest maybe putting a little spin on it, right? So instead of just taking that Instagram reel and then sharing it to Facebook, I actually would take that same reel, that same video, and upload it directly to the platform. There's something about it. I don't know, maybe it's just my intuition that says that each individual platform wants their unique videos, right? And I think there's so much magic in that. But that's the beauty of this because let's say for example, let's say you have a quick little 60-second video of compiled of different video clips of your own personal experience, right? Whether you're a wedding photographer or a wedding planner or you are a online coach, whatever it is that you're doing, you have just a 60-second clip of that. This is where I go off on all of my ideas. Okay, so hold on. Let's say you have a quick little 60-second video of just like a whole bunch of videos in that one clip. You can share your perspective. So you can share a voiceover of how you prepared for that shoot. You can share how you met that client, how that client came into your life. You can share something that happened with you and what you cooked for breakfast that morning, or some type of crazy story that happened with your dog, right? Whatever, something personal. You can create a voiceover with that same 60-second clip. You can also do a client perspective and you can share the results that they have been working on, the any type of like transformations that they had gone through, or any preparations, or maybe they had to reschedule their shoot for any reason. Side note, commercial break. These are all positive things. These are all beautiful messages. We're not sharing anything too personal or anything that our clients don't want to share because at the end of the day, we want to create shareable content. And if we're gossiping or sharing anything inappropriate, they're not going to be happy. It's just a bad taste. So we're always sharing positive things. I know we know that, but sometimes I have to remind people. So that's just Like, those are 2 to 3 different ways to repurpose that one 60-second video, right? Another thing that you can do is share a testimonial with that. So whether that is a voiceover of your own clients, you're asking them to provide a voiceover for you, you're simply slapping it into Canva for a template, or creating just a text over, there's a template for you, right? There's an other opportunity as well. Let's say there's multiple collaborators with this, right? There's other small businesses that are like vendors for that event, right? You're tagging multiple businesses, you're tagging the location. That right there could also be another repurposed video. Do you see how it's these ideas are just so endless, where we can almost get paralyzed a little bit with what to do next because there are too many ideas?
Yes, and we talked about it on the last podcast about sharing, having like a folder on your phone, obviously in your computer or whatever, but that you can pull from like stock video, only it's custom stock video because it's all the things that you have done. When you have
Mhm,
it consolidated in one area, it does make it easier to repurpose and use different clips for different things. Don't just assume that you have to use it only, like this is what you're saying, I'm assuming. You don't have to use that video clip that you create only for that one thing. You can use it to talk about other things, which I don't think people really think of. That's super
mhm.
smart. Super smart. What are some common mistakes that you see people making when trying to create behind the scenes content, and how can they avoid these pitfalls? So, we're not dissing on anybody, but there's things
Mhm.
that you'll see online that don't resonate as much as another behind the scenes video that resonates, like with voiceover as an example, instead of just maybe music. So, let us know.
Yeah, so I think the biggest mistake is just forgetting to do it. So that would be number 1. I mean, I've seen so many videos where photographers will say, "Oh, look what let's take I'm taking you along behind the scenes," and then, "Whoops, that's all I got," right? So even if that's all you have, that's fine. We can make a joke about it. But I would say number 1, the biggest mistake is just forgetting to take it. And one tip I have for trying to remember is simply packing a tripod. There's something about having the energy in the room of a tripod that just kind of reminds us to pop it up, right? So, when it comes to other mistakes, though, I know I kind of derailed that question really fast. But when it comes to mistakes, I think we can go back to some of those tools and some of those practices for finding good lighting. When you're taking these behind the scenes, right? Like, we want to find that best lighting. We want to make sure that the people in our behind the scenes clips, are aware that we're taking. So we have to have permission for them to share that. It is so important. We should have mentioned, I think we mentioned that in one of the past episodes. So we do need permission to share. But also, I mean, this is code 101, right? We don't want to take any unflattering videos of people. I can't tell you how many times I have seen behind the scenes clips with people in the corner, like even just like strangers at a coffee shop eating, or right? Let's stay away from that. Yeah. And like I mentioned before too, we're the whole purpose of this is to document your journey, document your business, prove your value, increase your pricing, become an authority in your business. But at the end of the day, if we're not creating shareable content that people are proud to see it and and excited to share, to hit that add to story button, I don't wanna say it's a waste, but kinda, because then, right, like, who's going to be appreciative? Because there's a fine line between being somebody that just records everything, and your friends and your family and maybe even your clients are a little nervous and going, "Oh god, she's gonna put my butt on the internet today," versus someone they are excited to see and proud to work with because they know that when these behind the scene clips are shared, they ultimately get more brand awareness, they get more clout, right? So there's a fine line between just recording everything you see versus being a little more intentional.
Yeah, and I think that's a good reminder too to tag your clients or tag the people in the video. A lot of times I'll see behind the scenes shared, but nobody
Mhm,
tagged to it. Now, if they don't want to be tagged, that's totally okay. I get that, but it is helpful for them to get
mhm,
seen as well as, as well as your account. Okay, so
mhm.
as we're wrapping up, What are 3 things that have helped you to grow your business? And it could be tools, advice, really anything. But what are 3 top things you think nowadays in 2024, at the end of 2024, that you have really helped grow your business?
Yes. So, number one is events, whether that is you showing up to an event, investing in education, just gathering with some girlfriends, right? Whatever that is, I have found that as soon as I switch my mindset to finding more friends instead of finding more clients, that's when the clients just start pouring in because it's so much easier for us to refer our friends and refer people we love versus just highly rated websites or right like just like random strangers. So what I notice is that when I start attending events, I get this just blast of energy. I get in the room, I'm meeting new people, and that is when the energy is truly swirling around, and I'm just surrounded by so many opportunities. So number one, I would say definitely get yourself in the room. That start there. So whether you're hosting your own events or you're planning to attend some, start there. The second tip I have is collaboration. This is what has completely just catapulted my business. Back in the days, I know Jen, you and I used to do styled shoots together. We had so much fun doing fun collaborations like that. And that truly is a great way to maximize your exposure, right? To be seen with other local businesses and support. When you are supporting other businesses, it's inevitable that that love and that those referrals are going to come back to you. So that would be number 2 is all about collaborations, and that can even be too, sorry, I forgot to mention going live with
I was
other
just
vendors
I
and
was
other
just
business
gonna
owners.
say, we've done going lives before, and we have a blast doing it. We love, like,
Mhm.
having conversations about what we're passionate about, but then everyone feels more passionate, like, I'm introduced to your audience, you're introduced to my audience, like, it is really helpful.
Yes, and the best part is it's free 99. It just takes a little bit of time. It takes a little bit of effort to match up our schedules, and especially now, Arizona doesn't do time zones, so I'm horrible at time zones, but that's okay. I'm the worst. But definitely implementing a lot of collaborations is going to be huge. And then number 3, this is totally a plug and kind of like a tie on the bow of this conversation is documenting the journey. We have to make time for behind the scenes and the B-roll clips of our life and business. I want you to almost think of your life and the opportunity. Let's say that you made it onto like some type of E special. I know E's even dating myself, but maybe like some Netflix special, right? Like you have this opportunity, like a documentary style of your life. What does that look like? Who are the people that made a difference in your life, right? What are the choices and the decisions you've made in your business? What pivots have you made? When we document those things, oh my gosh, like the possibilities are endless. And it truly does take your friends, family, and followers on this journey with you. So no matter what you do, no matter what you offer, no matter what you pivot into, you're creating this personal brand for yourself. So you could literally sell anything, anything, and your family and friends and followers will just support you no matter what.
So, so smart. All right, before we get to the gift that you are sharing, and it's good, but I'm so excited about this, tell our audience about, the services that you provide, but really I want to dive into your new course on this subject.
Yes, absolutely. So, as a brand photographer, it truly is my heart and joy to capture your magic. I call it photographing energy. So, I love mixing a little bit of the woo woo and the work where we're truly manifesting and praying, whatever feels aligned to you for that next level in your business. And what we do is we actually work together to create those visuals that may not exist yet, but we're going to create them for you so you feel that embodiment. So, you know that when you walk into the room, when you get on your next client call, you are so full of confidence and you are just ready to be the best business owner for them. So that comes with the whole branding and photography side. And I also have just launched, and I'm so excited. It's a mini course. It's called Bloom with B-roll. And this is all about the behind the scenes of your business to help you find aligned clients simply being yourself. We aren't chasing trends, we aren't chasing algorithms. We're simply documenting and sharing our life, doing some storytelling, but we're proving our value just with little behind the scenes clips of the work we're already doing. I'm so excited.
I'm very excited. We're gonna have all the links down below, so definitely look at them. At least go look at it at a minimum, because I think you'll find a tremendous amount of value there. All right. Well, if you found some ideas and tips that can help implement in your business, we would love for you to leave a review because it's the lifeblood of the podcast. And thank you so much, Kiana. You are always so supportive of myself and my work and my podcast. And you are delivering so much valuable information, but time is money. And so I definitely appreciate you taking time today. Now,
Thank
everyone,
you.
go out there and do something good for your business, like snagging Kiana's free gift. All of the links are below in case you're walking your dog or taking your kids to the grocery store, but make sure you come back and get those links. Bye.